All right, guys, so today I'm super excited. I get to teach you my favorite way to multiply ever, okay? Some of you will probably end this year still multiplying this way. It's an easy way to break it apart and just make things a little more simple. Your parents have probably not ever multiplied this way unless they're a teacher. So they might not know what you're doing unless you show them this video with the explanation. So they might need to see this also because this was new to me when I started teaching 15 years ago. All right. So this is called your area model. Okay, last week we learned about something called an array model where it used all the little bitty squares to help us. This is very similar, except we don't need all the little squares, okay? You can do it on any kind of piece of paper, anywhere. I had my second grader last year. She was in second grade. She didn't know multiplication facts, so I had to help her. But I had her doing like 5-digit times 5-digit multiplication just because this model works for anything. Today, we are going to focus on, we're going to start little. We're going to review from third grade. We're going to do 2-digit by 1-digit. We will do 3-digit by 1-digit. And then I really want to show you a 4-digit by 1-digit because I think you will be fine doing that. Okay, so that is our focus today. We're only going to be doing bigger numbers times one other digit, okay? And then tomorrow, we'll get into the good stuff, the 2-digit times 2-digit numbers, all right? So for our first problem, we're going to do an example for each of these. Let's look at, it's our first example, example 1. Let's do the problem 37 times, 6. Okay, some of you are like, oh, I already know how to do that. You might, yes, okay, but I want to show you this method because if you use this method, you can do it for any size problem. All right, so for area model, you're going to take your number here. This is called a factor. The numbers you multiply times each other are called factors. So you're going to take your first factor and you're going to put it into expanded form. So 30 plus 7, all right? So you're going to draw yourself a pretty good size square, pretty good size, because you're going to write inside of it. And you're going to put this number on the top of your square. This is like the length of your square. That's why it's called area, the length. And then we're going to look at the width. The number 6 can't be put into expanded form, so we just put it over here on the side. Now, everywhere that there is a plus sign, that's where you're going to split up your square. So right here we have a plus sign, and I'm just going to kind of right down from it split this up. All right, so this is the fun part. The 30 and the 7, you're just going to move it down into these two boxes. So you'll write 30 and then 7. Okay, your 6, it's going to slide over. All right. My kids last year, they said they pretended like this was a number at the top of the building and they had to go down the elevator to all the different floors. And then this one they said is kind of like, they had to act this out last year in class. They said this one is kind of like if you were at the airport, you can jump on the walkway that moves, kind of like the escalator, and it just slides you across. Okay, so the 6 has to slide into this one and this one all the way across. Now we're ready to multiply. Now the reason I said this is easier is because we just learned about that 0 rule, right? So I'm going to look here. 6 times 3 is my basic fact, and you don't have to circle it. I'm just pointing it out to you. 6 times 3 is your basic fact. Since we're multiplying by 6, let's say we don't know our 6 facts, all right? Because I know last year was cut short, and y'all might have missed some of your multiplication. So what you could do, earlier this year we talked about that T-chart where you put the 6 here and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 6 is equal to 6. 2 would be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 would be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 4 would be 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 5 would be 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 6 would be 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. And I'm using my dots to help me count. 7, that would be 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. 8, and we're going to 9. 8 would be 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. So then I have all my facts there for me. So then 6 times 3, I can go up here to my third one. That equals 18. Put it right there. I'm going to mark off the 0 and move it down. 7 times 6, let's see. These are all my 6, so I need to do the 7th one. That equals 42. So then you are left with these two numbers right here. These are called partial products. The reason they're called a partial product is because when you multiply, you get a product. And these are only partial or part of your answer. Okay? So our job now is to take these two numbers and add them together. And that will give us our answer for 37 times 6. So, let's see. 180. And then I got to put my 4 here because that's in the tens place. 2. So 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What? That's so funny that I picked that. 222. That would be my answer for 37 times 6. It equals 222. All right? So if you need to draw this chart, draw this chart. There's nothing wrong with it. It's pretty good practice for your facts and listing all your multiples of 6, and it's perfectly fine. So that was our example for a 2-digit times a 1-digit. All right, so now we're going to do 3-digit times 1-digit. All right, so I paused the video and I went ahead and I wrote my second example. You can pause it also and get this written. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our first factor, and we're breaking it into expanded form. All right? So I know there's 3 digits. I'm going to have to break it into 3 separate place values. So first I have 400 because it's in the hundreds place, plus my 5 is in the tens, so that's 50, plus 1, just 1 because it's in the ones place. Can't break up the 3. So now I'm going to draw myself my rectangular square, and I'm going to write this number on top. 400 plus 50 plus 1. Now my other factor goes on this side by itself because you can't break it up. Remember, everywhere there's a plus sign is where you split your box. So I'm going to draw a line down and down. Okay, so the 400, it slides down the elevator. The 50 goes down the elevator. And the 1 goes down the elevator. Now, my 3, it's got to take a stop at every single one. It's got to go all the way across. So I got to put a 3 here, and then it's going to keep going and put a 3 here, and then it's going to keep going, and I have to put a 3 here also. Now I'm ready to get my partial products. Okay, so my basic fact on this problem is 3 times 4. Those are my only 2 digits here besides 0. So 3 times 4, if you don't know it, you could do, since we're multiplying by 3 on every one, you could do a 3's chart over here. One of those T-charts, that's fine. But 3 times 4 is 12. Mark off your zeros and move them down. You have 2. All right? 5 times 3 is 15. Mark off that 0 and move it down. 1 times 3 is 3. These are your partial products. Come over here, line them up, and add them up, and that will give you your answer. It's pretty cool. 3, 5, 3, and 1. That's my answer, 1,353. Okay, so let's do one more example. I'm going to pause and write it, and this time we're going to do a 4-digit. All right, so here's our problem. We have 2,307 times 8. So remember, your first step is to break this into expanded form. Now, this one has 4 digits. So you're going to start with the 2, which is in the thousands, and write 2,000 plus 3 is in the hundreds, so 300 plus 0 is in the tens, so you can put a 0 here, or you can leave it blank. Let's put a 0 this time just so you can see it. Plus 7. All right, so I split my number up into 4. Now I'm ready to draw my little rectangle or square. I write this on top. 2,000 plus 300 plus 0 plus 7. And my other factor of 8 goes on this side. Everywhere there's a plus sign, switch box. Okay, now I'm going to bring my numbers down the elevator. So 2,000, 300, 0, and 7. My 8 slides across and visits all of them. 8, 8, 8, and 8. Now I'm ready to multiply. Okay, basic fact. 8 times 2, that gives me 16. I have 1, 2, 3 zeros, move them down. 8 times 3, basic fact, that's 24. And then 1, 2, 1, 2, moving them down. Now, this is why I said you really don't have to do the 0, because isn't 8 times 0 just 0? So you really don't even have to do that box, because it's just 0. 8 times 7 is a little bit harder. It is 56. All right, might not have that one memorized. Might have needed to do a T-chart for that one. Now I'm ready to add all of these up. This one, wow, that's 16,000, 2,400. I'm being really careful to line these up in the right spots. And then 56. If you line them up in order, they should kind of go down your page like that, like in a little backward stair step. So then I get 6 and 5 and then 4. Ooh, 6 plus 2 is 8. And then 1. Ooh, my answer on this one is 18,456. All right, so I have picked a little game for you to practice. You can play with your parents, or if your parents aren't there to play with you, that's okay. You can just pick 3 of the problems to solve for me, all right, for practice, and then I'll have like a little extra ticket or something for y'all to do.